Really sit through that whole case and kept your spirits high. I really like that for y'all. That was great. Keep your spirits up, y'all.
The courtroom wasn't just quiet. It felt like the whole room stopped breathing. Everyone's eyes were focused on one person, a young woman who had a lot to lose and even more to say. Inside the Manhattan Federal Courthouse, you could feel how serious the moment was. This wasn't just another day in the long list of legal problems for Sean Diddy Combs.
Yo, I'ma let y'all know, my daughter's my date. I've been in love with her for 15 years and she's my date. She looks so beautiful, so elegant. You look like black elegance, girl. For real. You queen. Best date ever. We can enjoy it for now, right? Yeah. In the vibe, like in the movie.
It was different because, for the first time, the person stepping up to speak wasn't a former worker, a journalist, or someone from the music industry. It was his daughter, Chance Combs. Her presence didn't just shock the room, it changed the entire energy. This wasn't about business or fame anymore. It was about family. Chance wasn't here as the daughter of a famous man. She was here as a witness ready to tell her truth.
My name's Ava. I'm a Scorpio.
No. What's your last name?
Ava Combs.
What's your other last name?
Ava Baroni.
Eva Baroni Combs? Yes, it was breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child.
Even if it meant standing alone. The room was packed with people. Reporters stood along the back wall. A courtroom artist sat with her pencil ready. Everyone was tense. But when Chance entered the room, all the quiet murmurs stopped. She walked slowly, her steps steady, from the waiting area to the witness chair. Her heart was racing. Her palms were sweaty. Still, she looked calm. She wore a dark gray pantsuit. There was no flashy jewelry or expensive designer wear. Her hair was tied back in a plain ponytail. She didn't look like the girl who'd been raised in luxury. She looked like someone ready to speak the truth. For years, Chance was seen as part of Diddy's brand. She'd appear on red carpets, smiling for the cameras. But today, she wasn't here to play a role.
2, 3.
I'm not lying. Oh, they beautiful.
Thank you guys, I appreciate it. It was really nice meeting you.
This was her time to stop pretending. This was her moment to speak, not as Diddy's daughter, but as a young woman who had lived through something real. She had thought about this moment for a long time. She'd remembered the stories from women like Cassie, Ava, and Maya, women who spoke out and faced a storm. Now it was her turn. The questions began slowly. What's your name? How old are you? How are you related to Mr. Combs? Then came the question that truly mattered. Can you tell us what life was like in Diddy's house? She paused, took a deep breath. Then she began.
Know that your wife
Did
got
this.
urinated on and then found this out in court.
It's a lot.
Could you handle that?
But let me tell you, not only because he had left, he was in the back of the court and then he went. I think they took up to like a back room. But the you know,
Diddy's
all the
kids.
Diddy kids are there,
Yeah.
right? So his daughters are there. I was sitting behind them. It was awkward for me to watch them have to listen to all of this. They, after he started, the male Esther started getting into a lot of the masturbation and stuff. They got up and left. They got up.
Who told him to leave? Did Diddy say leave or?
No, Diddy didn't tell them to leave. I don't know if there was a conversation or not. I looked up from writing and I saw them get up, so I don't know. But I know that they were like checking on each other throughout. I saw them ask like Christian at one point, like, "You okay?"
She described a life that looked perfect on the outside mansions in Los Angeles, a beachfront estate in Miami, a New York penthouse. But inside, it was something very different. It was a world full of rules, pressure, and silence. For her and her adopted sister Ava, those homes weren't places of peace. They were like movie sets. Everything they did was carefully controlled. They didn't go to regular schools. They couldn't hang out with other kids. Even their teachers were chosen by Diddy's staff. She told a story about a girl named Chloe. They met at a charity event and became fast friends. They traded numbers and made plans to see each other again. But soon, Chloe stopped answering. Chance later learned that Chloe's parents had been told Chance was too busy for new friendships. That kind of thing happened often. Anyone who got too close was pushed away. Even their public appearances were planned down to the smallest detail. What to wear, when to smile, how to stand it was all rehearsed. Chance said that Ava felt the same way. They often whispered about how strange everything was. But they were careful, always watching what they said. Their home had cameras everywhere. Even their thoughts didn't feel private. Then, something shifted for Chance. One day, she realized she wasn't living her own life. Everything was filtered through someone else's vision. She wasn't a daughter anymore. She felt like a product being shaped, sold, and shown off. But that wasn't all that was taken from her. She also lost her voice. Chance shared a memory from August 12, 2015. She was 14 years old. Just a few days after her birthday, she was sitting and drawing when two men arrived. They were lawyers she didn't recognize. They brought her and Ava into the large library. The men handed them papers and told them it was just something simple to protect the family from gossip. But it was a non-disclosure agreement, legal documents meant to keep them quiet. At 14, she didn't understand what she was signing. The men said it was about protecting privacy. But Chance knew even then it was about keeping them silent. She looked at Ava, who was just 13 at the time, and scared. They both signed the papers. "It felt like they locked my mouth shut," Chance said. "They told me it was for me, but it wasn't. It was for him." That line hit the courtroom hard. People gasped quietly. Even those who'd been covering big cases for years looked shaken. The idea that a child was forced to keep secrets for her famous father hit everyone in a deep way. Prosecutor Evelyn Reed asked the obvious, "Did you have a lawyer there to help you?" Chance didn't hesitate. "No, my lawyer was his lawyer." That answer said it all. It showed how much power Diddy had and how he used it. What looked like safety from the outside was really just control. But Chance wasn't done yet. She shifted in her seat and described something even darker. It was a party in Miami. She was 15 years old. The house was full of guests. She wasn't supposed to go near the private rooms, but she wandered close. That's when she saw a woman being led by two men. The woman looked unsteady. She said no, but they didn't stop. One of Diddy's workers, someone she only remembered as T saw Chance watching, he calmly told her to go back to the main area. She never forgot it. When asked what she thought was happening, Chance didn't guess. She just said, "I didn't want to go in, but I was told to leave." Her voice didn't shake. She didn't cry. But the courtroom felt her pain. Then came another memory. One that made Ava shift uncomfortably in her seat. Chance remembered a studio session where Diddy screamed at a young male artist. It started over a disagreement about a song, but it quickly turned into something much more intense. Diddy cursed, threw something, and made the artist leave. Soon after, that artist's deal ended. Ava nodded silently behind Chance. She didn't speak, but her support was clear. Then the prosecutor brought up Cassie's video. It was footage from inside one of Diddy's homes. It showed a fight. The faces weren't clear, but Chance recognized the room. She knew the art on the walls, the furniture, everything. Ava wiped away a tear as it was mentioned. It was obvious these girls weren't reacting to rumors. They had lived it. They knew what came after the yelling, what silence meant in that house. The courtroom took a short break. But outside, something powerful happened. Chance and Ava saw Cassie. Ava started crying. Chance leaned in and whispered, "You were never alone. And you're not alone now." That moment meant everything. They weren't just victims anymore. They were a united front. Then came the hard part, cross-examination. Diddy's lawyer, Eleanor Vance, was ready to go on the attack. She started strong. "You didn't come here for justice. You came here for attention. Why now? Why didn't you speak sooner?" Chance looked straight at her and answered, "I was raised to protect him. I thought being quiet meant I was loyal." The courtroom froze. Vance pushed harder. "You had gifts, vacations, designer clothes. You were treated well. How does that match this picture you're painting?" Chance didn't back down. Every gift felt like another chain, she said. Something to keep me quiet. Something to make me feel guilty if I ever spoke out. Vance tried to twist her words, but Chance didn't flinch. She explained that in Diddy's world, love and control were the same thing. You couldn't have one without the other. And for the first time that day, Diddy looked afraid. When Chance finished, the courtroom felt different. It was quieter than before, not from fear, but from respect. Legal experts watching from around the country said Chance's testimony was one of the most powerful they had ever seen. Not because she shouted, but because she didn't. She spoke with calm strength. The public response came quickly. People online shared their shock, sadness, and anger. It takes real courage to speak out against your own father, one person wrote. Believe survivors, another added. Others said they could no longer see Diddy the same way. The image of a powerful, respected mogul was falling apart. What made her testimony even more powerful was how it matched stories from others. Cassie's video, Maya's quiet testimony, Ava's pain, Daniel Phillips's timeline, Capricorn Clark's statements. All these voices together told a clear story, not just of one bad moment, but of a lifestyle built on fear, silence, and control. And in a courtroom full of lawyers, cameras, and strangers, it took a daughter's truth to remind everyone what justice really looks like. As the day ended, Chance and Ava walked out hand in hand. They didn't smile for the cameras. They didn't stop to speak to reporters. They just walked away closer than ever and no longer afraid. Chance's words didn't just make the news. They changed the direction of the whole case. For years, Diddy had faced rumors and lawsuits. But this was different. This was his own family. This was his daughter. And she had every reason to stay silent, but she didn't. Whether or not this leads to a guilty verdict, one thing is already clear. The image of Diddy as a hero, mentor, and loving father has cracked in a way it may never recover from. So what do you think? Was this the moment Diddy's world truly started to fall apart? Or will his legal team find a way to protect his name again? Share your thoughts below. And if you believe people like Chance deserve to be heard, hit the like button and subscribe for more updates.